What's up, dudes? I was just out in the rain, sitting, taking a little break. I got a download in from Spirit. I was just kind of musing. And Spirit wanted to talk about the cleanse. So there's a whole wave of starseeds that are going through really fast, brutal spiritual awakenings. And they're going through the cleanse. And the cleanse is part of the spiritual awakening. And it's when Spirit just takes over, and that's where I call them the bog bodies. And we have all this trauma and wound. I'm looking through my Edgar Allan Poe tarot deck. I'm trying to find the Empress card. Where we have all these wounds, trauma in us that, okay, now I hear feelings. Okay, we're going to back it up even more. We may have a famous person. This is my card for a famous person. This is what fame feels like. Very isolating. With paranoia. When everybody says, I want to be rich and famous, they forget it comes with this. Okay. So when somebody's going on a spiritual awakening, the first thing I like to say, I'm just going to show you cards. The first thing I like to say is there might be a chance that you're high-functioning spectrum-y. Because first of all, you can comprehend what's happening to you. So there's people who cannot experience the spiritual awakening because their mind cannot comprehend it. And those are the people that live in the 3D. And the 3D and the 4D exist on the same time, at the same time here on planet Earth. And this dude right here could be existing in the 3D, doing the grind, having all the fanciest boots, the latest everything. Riddled with anxiety because he got to pay for that big fucker, that house. Yep. Riddled with anxiety. Yeah. Yeah, he got to pay his credit card bill now. Yeah. This dude exists in the 3D. He's in the rat race of life. This person is having a spiritual awakening because they have some sort of divine purpose. Not saying only certain people have divine purposes, but there are people who are destined for big divine things. And that's people who will be brought into the 4D. So this dude and this dude could be standing right next to each other at a restaurant or something. And they're existing in two different dimensions at the same time. And what it is how you experience things. So the 4D is where you kind of understand that there is this higher thing. Big Brother, aliens, God, what is it? Where you understand that it's like a dollhouse, and we're in the dollhouse. But if you don't let your mind spiral out of control about it, and you realize this thing above doesn't look like this, no. It looks like the opposite of this. It's loving. It's feminine. It's your angels that watch over you. That give you little number synchronicities through the day. Here's a little glitter on your day, darling. Don't you feel better? Going outside, your emotions are now turned on and you can feel the wind in your face. Yeah. But to get to the 4D, you have to get to a certain vibration. And the 4D is when you can co-create with Spirit. You'll get little, I call them Easter eggs, little miracles throughout the day that are so profound for you, I say out loud, thank you, Spirit, so many times throughout the day. My life is way more fun, way more magical. But you have to surrender the 3D to get to the 4D. You have to allow it. All the people who say, isn't it a weird coincidence that, yeah, that's a 3D statement. A weird coincidence. People living in the 4D say, thank you, Spirit, for that experience. All right. So say this, we're going to do the journey of this person. This person has some sort of trauma. And this person is high functioning spectrum. And they may not even know it. Because when you get a later in life diagnosis, it's kind of like, I had no idea everybody else doesn't experience life this way. Wait a minute. You just think everybody else is experiencing everything the same way you are. And then you realize, no, they're not at all. And then you feel really, really bad for the little you. You feel really, really bad for the little kid inside you when you realize you never got any help and nobody ever understood you. And then you might go into some depression, sadness, really mourning for your inner child. And if you're my age, I'm going to be 50 in October, maybe, I don't know, 50. It's very loose when I say this. 15 years either way from 50. Just kind of that generation. I graduated in 1993. Guaranteed, if you're spectrum, you didn't get any help. You never got a diagnosis. You didn't even know. You thought maybe that meant autism meant like Rain Man. No, I can't count matches on the floor. I don't do that. I'm not autistic. So the first thing I say is, here's what you and your inner child need to understand. And if you're an empath, you can feel feelings way more intensely than other people around you. So not everybody feels feelings on the same scale or spectrum. And so you, as an empath, can feel the saddest you can feel is -1,000. And that's really fucking sad. That's trauma. That's really sad. -1,000. And the happiest you can feel is +1,000. And that's really fucking happy. I'm vibing high. Yeah. And the people who are not like you, who think differently with their brain, the saddest that they can even comprehend, that their brain can even imagine up. So think of them being a calculator. Like any sadder than that, it would just be error out. The calculator can't even think about that. It's 0. So you may have had parents, siblings, friends, classmates, teachers. While you're there plugging in at -842, they can only comprehend how bad 0 feels. And you were all by yourself, plugging in at -1,000. So once you understand that, you have that aha moment, then your inner child starts healing. Then you say, poor little me. Yeah, but look at how tough little me was. And then all that butt hurt that you have over why couldn't you? Why didn't you? How could you? It doesn't go away. That clench in your fucking heart, it doesn't go away, but it lessens up a little bit. So a lot of us who are plugging in, really fucking sad, turned our trauma that nobody could comprehend what was going on with us into a bog body. That's what I call it. And that's just like what you think of, those mummies that come out of the bog and as a 1,000-year-old sacrifice to the bog or whatever it was. Yeah, that's that trauma that you pushed all the way down in your belly and it came out as anxiety, panicky, stomach issues, not sleeping well. That's all trauma. And you just put a box on it and said, no fucking way, too fucked up. Yep. It goes down there in the bog. And then you get sent on a spiritual awakening. And what that means is the bog's about to open up and the bog bodies are going to come out. And you are going to have to look at them in the face. And now I see the devil in this big giant tarot deck. So you're going to have to face your bog bodies. And here's the thing about the spiritual awakening. It's not something you choose to have happen. No, this is something that happens to you. All of a sudden you think you're chugging along? Yeah. And then something happens. And boom, here comes all these bog bodies. You might meet a twin flame catalyst. You might go through a near-death experience. You might have had unbelievable fear put into you. Whatever it was, completely changed everything. And all of a sudden, your bog opens up and all the bodies come out and you're left like this with all your trauma. And if you don't know what's going on, it can be so fucking scary and you can say, am I going crazy? And here's where it's very important, and I will link it down in the comment section. Kevin Smith, the actor, the movie maker, Kevin Smith, he did this, I think it was for People magazine, this presentation where he talked about, he never specifically used the word spiritual awakening, but what he had was a classic spiritual awakening and going through the cleanse. And he explains how he was basically forced, because this isn't something you choose to do. All of a sudden, it's, oh my God, am I having a nervous breakdown? And he explains some of his childhood traumas, some sexual abuse he had. And when you go through the awakening and you go through the cleanse, it's so traumatic and it's so almost supernatural that you want to help other people because you know how horrid it is. And you don't want anybody to be like this. And so he's a perfect example of a divine masculine showboy with divine sensuality who says, hey, I'll tell the truth. This is what's happened to me. I'm a cool dude. Yeah, you can listen to me. I'm just a dude. I'm going to tell you what's happened to me. And him doing that helps heal people through their own, which even hearing about his traumas, talking about his traumas, can help people who aren't ready to talk about their own traumas. And that's the power of an energy worker and a light worker, the truth tellers. And the way he does it is so brave. And he went on a classic spiritual awakening. So yeah, if you resonate, for sure watch it. I'll put a link down in the comments. And so before you know it, you're birthing all these bog bodies, all these traumas, and you have to face them, and you have to heal from them. And what happened was, when you were so little, whatever that was, whatever the trauma was, and Kevin explains it really good. If you're an empath, if you're a scapegoat, if you were raised with Catholic guilt, Jewish guilt, any kind of religious guilt, you may resonate. Yeah. I don't really have a right to feel that bad about what happened to me, because there's starving kids in Africa. Because that kid got like fucked over 10 times worse than I did. Yeah, like whatever happened to that person is so awful. Yeah, no, I just had this. Yeah, no, I don't even have the right to feel sorry for myself. Which is untrue. Because trauma is trauma. Trauma is like a switch. Once you get to it, no matter how intense it gets after it, once you get to trauma, you've been switched over. And with trauma, it's never a war or a competition on who had the most worst trauma. Trauma is trauma. And so when you were little, it was too much for you. So Spirit threw a veil on you. And you may have lived in a false reality. You may have just pushed it down, not thought about whatever that was. You may have tried to like erase it from your memory. You might not even remember. Whatever this traumatic thing was, you just learned how to live with it because you were too little. And you have a veil on. Now this little one has a veil on. But then you get sent on the awakening. You start birthing these bodies. You get older. So think about when you get older, like your mind is like a balloon blowing up. And the expansion of the consciousness. And this is a good one too from Alan Watts. He says, imagine the expansion of the consciousness. Imagine a black balloon with white polka dots on it, not blown up. And now you're going to blow it up. Imagine how the white polka dots just start expanding like that. But the black balloon is also expanding. Yeah, that's how he was talking about galaxies in space. And sometimes it's nice, but that's also what's happening with your mind. And then you get to an age, or you get triggered on your spiritual awakening where your mind starts expanding. And as your mind that balloon is getting blown up, your mind is expanding, the veil starts getting whoop, and then all of a sudden, boom. Yeah, it's traumatic. So what you got to remember when you're going through the cleanse, this is how old the Empress had to be before she was ready to look at how terrible that trauma was that happened when she was so little. Like, that experience is not meant for until you're a mind like this, not like this. And that was the grace of Spirit protecting you. But now you're older, and you have to make room in your body, your vessel, for the light. So our body, our vessel, is like a pitcher. And so picture it like a juice pitcher, a Kool-Aid pitcher. Your Kool-Aid pitcher has the Kool-Aid in it. It's got the water in it. But it's got these bog bodies down at the bottom taking up too much room in the pitcher, so there's no room for sugar. And your Kool-Aid tastes fucking nasty. So Spirit says, enough of that. Yeah, we're getting rid of the trauma, the bog body that you've been keeping down in your stomach, the anxiety, the panic, all of that. We're going to pull it out of you. And as soon as it shows itself, it's going to be absolutely horrid. But when you deal with it, right away, we can add the light and add the sugar. And that's what Spirit does. And the minute you start healing, you ascend up in vibration. So think about that as like life force on a video game. Yep. Oh, I feel better. Oh, I just birthed another bog body. I feel better again. And then the healing happens so fast. So you have to go easy on yourself during such a difficult time and a difficult process. And so Kevin explains how he was able to go to like a mental health facility place and work with therapists and help him through his experience, which is a classic spiritual awakening. And good for him. Like 100% good for him. And he's lucky that he had those resources to help him. And there's a lot of people who don't have those kind of resources, and there's nowhere to go and no way to process what this is. So in the past, or in smaller cultures and tribes, if somebody had noticed that somebody was going through an awakening, they would be teamed up with another person who's already awakened so they can guide them and help them through the whole process. Because it's absolutely terrifying if you don't know what's going on. And then the people who are existing in the 3D, yeah, and if you have a big divine purpose, you might be activated as a starseed. That means the Earth's vibrations is so fucking shitty right now. We have so many narcissistic vibrations. Certain TV stations just pumping out narcissism, teaching the whole world how to be smarmy and narcissistic. Broski Hosky channels. Yeah, this is how you just, yeah, be a fucking red heather. Yeah, the head heather. Then they follow it up with, yeah, and here's our feel-good piece from a war vet out in Vietnam who would like to say a Merry Christmas to his wife and 4 kids. And praise Jesus. Yeah. So the whole world fucking stinks, and the starseeds got activated. And these are people who have divine purposes and missions, and you get sent on a super brutal spiritual awakening to go through the cleanse super fucking fast so you can birth all your stuff and then ascend up, and you can be a big beacon of light to help your collective ascend up in vibration. The whole goal of the starseeds is to ascend their community's vibrations up so everyone can get into the golden age of enlightenment. But if you're filled with a bunch of bog bodies and you are a starseed, if you have a mind that can comprehend it, Spirit does not care if you're busy, doesn't care what your job is, doesn't care if you have money, if you don't. Yeah. If you're one of the chosen ones, if you want to say it like that, that sounds creepy to me, but it's true. If you can comprehend, if you've had the turn of the evolutionary wheel and you use your brain differently, yeah, you might get activated to help the world ascend up in vibration. And it'll be fucking traumatic if it's brutal and fast, as what happened to me. You'll have your emotions turned on. You didn't even realize your emotions were off. You might like listen to a song and start weeping. You might go outside, feel the sun in your face, and be like, "Oh my God!" And people are like, "You're fucking nuts right now. What's going on?" Yeah, your chakras are getting all aligned. And just imagine like spirit is turning on all the fuses in you. In your fuse box. Yep. We need our galactic warrior right now getting activated. We're going to send you to a spiritual chiropractor. I hear it like that. Somebody might have gone to a chiropractor. We're going to adjust all your chakras, get you all lined up, everything, so all your energy can flow right. And if you don't know anything about spirituality, spiritual concepts, if you never had anybody explain this to you, if you've only existed in the 3D and never even comprehended anything like this, before my awakening, I thought this was all hippie bullshit crap. Crunchy granola shit. Now look at me. So, you may be all alone. There may be nobody that can comprehend you're going through the fucking plans. Yeah, and you're like, -1,000, -1,000, -1,000. Just know, just by learning, see, knowledge is the key to freedom, and knowledge is the key to healing. And if you are experiencing this, you are smart enough to self-heal. You just need the proper knowledge, and you need to surround yourself around gentle, kind, empathetic people. If you can surround yourself around empaths, your awakening will be way more comfortable. You're a little seedling that just popped out of the dirt right now, and you don't want anybody picking at you. Somebody might have got slapped or something. Yeah, and if you're with a karmic partner and you've got an awakening and they haven't, yeah, you are on two different vibrations. It will never work. I know a therapist ain't supposed to say that. Yeah, I'm a spiritual guide. That's my humble opinion. Yeah, if they cheated on you, or if you went on an awakening, they didn't, yeah, save your fucking money. It's never gonna work. Go find someone who won't. But don't go find someone until you learn to love this one. All right. Poi balls might mean something. Okay. This is my card for the Emperor who says, I need a butter maiden. Somebody might need an assistant, a spiritual leader, a guide, or something like that. A secretary, a muse. I hear a muse. Something like that. All right. So it's important when you are going on your awakening, and you may just, yeah, there's a wonderful dude named Victor who talks about the awakening. Yeah, ascending in vibration. This masculine has made up their mind. They know where they want to go. All right. This dude Victor, he explains kind of some more about the Kundalini awakening, about a spiritual awakening, an awakening, what the awakening is. And I'll put him down in there too. And it's all these light workers, we've all gone through this experience, and we understand how horrid it is all alone if you don't know. And so part of my activation is I'm a good teacher. Spirit likes my library skills. I'm the head librarian at the Akashic Records. So all these people are getting activated to help our collective, our soul family, get from Grossville into Healedville. All right, so we have the Eight of Cups showing. I always explain the Eight of Cups by explaining Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is, yeah, I'm flipping through my little black book, looking, what you up to? What you up to? What you up to? Yeah. I got all these choices. I'm looking through all these applications. That's what Seven of Cups is. Yeah. Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. Yep. I'm getting my wish fulfillment. Eight of Cups is deciding what I want. Yeah. He says, I want the Ace of Cups with my wish fulfillment. Somebody might fly in an airplane. Somebody might go from one place to another. They may travel. All right. So just know it's a process and it takes a long time. We might have athletes here. So a lot of times sometimes it's a basketball player and sometimes it's a football player. It comes through for me. And that's the ball. Somebody may be left out in the cold. Somebody may have got drafted. Somebody may travel a lot with their work, with what they do. Somebody may not be able to consistently, yeah, so if you see a therapist, there's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist. You should see a therapist if you can afford a therapist. And try to find a therapist that understands what a spiritual awakening is. If you can find here's like the perfect thing. If you can find a therapist that understands spiritual awakening and a spirit guide, you're doing really good. But a lot of people can't afford a therapist. So if you can find a spirit guide, you're doing really good. And spirit guides are all around you. I'm a spirit guide. I offer my stuff for free. I explain my stuff. Kevin Smith is working as a spirit guide with his thing where he's telling his truth. You can find the information from your soul family all around, and it'll just be things that you resonate with. And resonate, when you're starting to go through a spiritual awakening, what Spirit wants you to do is learn how to stand in your own power. So things will start resonating with you, and Spirit will start proving things to you, start validating things to you, start showing you number synchronicities, start showing you, oh my God, that's such a weird coincidence. Oh my God, that's such a weird coincidence, until you surrender and say, okay, it's not a coincidence. Spirit is literally letting me live a magical life. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, now your life feels better. Okay. So I think there's a whole bunch of people that are surrendering right now. The Hanged Man. Somebody might have a surgery. They might need to do a Piscean energy here. They might need to do a surgery and they've been putting it off, something like that. This person might have anxiety, panic attacks, something like that. Whatever it is, there's a timeline happening. Yeah, and it's now or never. I hear it like that, okay? So if you are having a surgery, yeah, what Spirit wants you to know, everything is going to be absolutely perfect and successful. I just did a split, and the Eight of Wands is fast-moving energy and love arrows. So this is Spirit guaranteeing you go into that surgery with calmness because it's going to go okay. All right? Let's hear more. Look who's here. The Queen of Pentacles. Somebody may have a boss lady coming around. Somebody may have a Mrs. Garrett coming around. We might have band people that have a chick with them for something. I see that this is an actual feminine energy. If it's same sex, something like that, a new feminine is going to be around. This person knows how to make the coin, how to manage the coin, how to manage the household. Somebody may go to the theater, go see a band, something like that. All right, let's hear more. Your final message. Ooh, final message. You see that? Okay, right on my lap is death, Scorpio energy. Somebody may be a photographer. They may want to take somebody's picture. Okay. All right, I had the Queen of Swords in reverse. And then when I looked at it, Spirit was like, turn it. And so the message I got just by looking at this card for me is this masculine is an emperor. He is traveling in his train car, and he has hired her to be his travel assistant, and she is helping him with his spirituality. So she's teaching him. She's the same person that's in the Nine of Pentacles. All right. We have Seven of Pentacles. He's been watching this person for a really long time. And he's decided, yeah, I want her to be with me. And these two are going to manifest together. So I keep seeing, yeah. Somebody may go on vacation, a tropical place, or something like that. The Florida Keys might mean something. I just heard that again. Nine of Pentacles is Dream Girl. This is the pre-Empress card. This is the Empress before she has her Emperor. This is a single Empress. And he says, I want you to go on this voyage with me. I need a buttermaid. So she might say to him, I need a divorce. I'm going to get divorced. I want to get divorced, but I can't afford it, or I can't do it, or I can't whatever it. I want to get away from my past thing. These two are going to bond somehow. The Queen of Swords stands for divorce. It could also be, I want to get out of a toxic relationship. The relationship doesn't have to be a marriage, romantic relationship. It could be work. It could be, I have a very toxic family. Yeah. Queen of Swords cut the cords. I want to stay in Empress energy. Yeah, he loves that. Okay. Now I'm looking down. I see Six of Cups. These two are going to laugh together. Their inner child loves each other. This is somebody from your past or your past life. Spirit sent them in to help you through this process. And they're a muse. So you may feel a spark of creativity around this person's energy. You guys may charge each other up in a positive way. All right. This person has spent a lot of time alone healing from a broken heart. And this person has received the Ace of Swords. All right. Somebody may come in right away and say, I want you as mine. I want to brand you. I want to do a brand. I want to do a business. I have this great big idea. Yeah. They may send a ticket. A pentacle is an actual thing. They may be interested, if somebody has a teenager or something like that, they might be interested in that. For a business thing, for a work thing. I just hear page. The band Helmet might mean something. Their music just came through a bunch. Hamilton might mean something. That just flipped. Look at that. Justice. And the message. Yeah. A contract might be coming in. All right, darlings. We will get through the spiritual awakening Together! All of us, the entire collective. Look who's on the bottom. The Emperor! Yeah, look who's coming together. All right, so there's the message for today. I'm going to put some links down in the comments of what I was talking about. And if you're feeling alone, if you don't have anybody around you, if you're getting ripped in from the 3D into the 4D, yeah, just understand it's a giant Super Ball slam. And so what Spirit's doing is whipping you as hard as you, like imagine when you were a kid and you were like, you would slam your Super Ball as hard as you could to see if you could hit the ceiling. Yeah, well, you're getting whipped so hard, you're seeing if you can double do it. When you get whipped down and the Super Ball slams on the ground, that's the tower. That's all of this getting hit with the tuning fork, being boom, wake up devils, trauma. And just know, if you're in this, it will get better. You're just in the slam part of the Super Ball. And when you bounce back up and you birth all these motherfuckers, you will be a different person. And it will be amazing. I promise. So if you're feeling low, if you're feeling sad, alone, scared, something like that, just know this is a process. And this is just how you feel today. Tomorrow is going to be the next little bit up from that slam. And the more you heal, the faster you slam up. You slam up into feeling good, into the light, into brightness. But you have to understand you're in a very fragile state. And if you let that worrying mind of yours, and I'm not saying, well, yeah, maybe worrying too, worrying, but what I really mean is whirring, worrying. If you let that worrying mind jettison off into Crazyville, you're in a very particular time right now. Yeah, you might get stuck out in Crazyville. So it's important that you do your spiritual work. You understand you've been set on an awakening. You have to look at this and stay in the middle of the path, right in the light. There's no reason to jettison off into these dark thoughts. You're going to keep your horses under control. You're going to say, no, I'm not going to allow my mind to jettison off into Crazyville thoughts right now. I'm going to stay in the present moment, and I'm going to stay right in the middle of the path right now where the light can shine on me the best. I'm going to, yeah, because you're going to all of a sudden want to consume any information you can get about this experience. And there's so many charlatans out there. There's so many charlatans out there. There are so many tarot card readers that are full on fucking charlatans. And they will give you a message that plants a seed of doubt within your mind. They'll drop a negative vibration, a little bit of paranoia, a little bit of something. No, that job, you're not going to want the job. You're going to pass on it. You're going to, you're that person. Yeah, they're going to be terrible. Terrible. We'll go more into it on memberships. Buy a private reading and we'll go into it. Yeah, as a charlatan, you should never leave if you're on a spiritual awakening. Find 1 or 2 readers to follow. And those should be people that keep you in a high vibration. I've got a couple in my mind right now that I will link. That I believe are actual psychic light workers. That are in a very high vibration, and they will help you. I don't personally know these people, but I can tell they've been awakened. and I can tell that they're vibing high at this moment. Now you got to remember, spirituality is a practice, and you can get dirty and you can decrease in vibration. But I've watched these people for a while, and they've consistently stayed in a high vibration, so I feel comfortable recommending them. But try to keep it just at those. Because then you know you don't have a charlatan that's planting seeds of doubt within you, that's slowing down all of this. All right, I think that's about it that I'm hearing from Spirit. Now remember, when I say I hear it, I don't have little things in my ears. I'm not a card trick person. When I say it, I have clairaudience. And so when I say I hear it, I have senses that people have more senses than what we know of. And clairaudience is one of those senses. And so I don't actually hear it like you're hearing my voice. I don't hear it like a schizophrenic person sitting there. I was like, oh, what was that? Yeah. No, I don't hear it like that. I hear it the same way you hear a song when it's stuck in your head. So you don't hear it, but it's there. But it's not there, but it exists. That's where I'm hearing when I say I'm hearing. And it's in my mind's eye. And so what it is it's a manifestation of just kind of like all of a sudden when you hear a song in your head. So I'm not a crazy lady hearing voices and that kind of thing. No. Because that would mean you're a crazy person too, because you've all had a song stuck in your head before. Oh, yeah. I think Spirit's trying to get people to surrender. So, yeah, psychic abilities are real. I don't know what to say. You're late to the science if you don't know that. All right. There you go, dudes. There's the message. Peace out. Love ya. Hope you love you. You sexy motherfuckers!